think your profile information, your picture accurately represents who you are, what you want, and what you look like?
I do think that they represent what I look like, and I try really hard to update them all the time.
Okay.
Like, I probably look like a little more basic than I actually am.
On here or in here?
On here.
Okay.
Like this one, like the slutty eggplant Halloween costume. I feel like I look so cute. And my profile, you know, I struggled with the profile. I went through many iterations of like the About Me section, but that one I just like I'm not embarrassed for people to read that. Like if someone I worked with read that stuff, like I wouldn't, like those are all like true things about me.
Okay. What do you think your profile says to men?
Alright. What do I think it says to men? Hopefully it says that I am like a relatively like intellectual person who wants some kind of substance out of dating, even though I don't want something like super serious.
Okay.
Like I don't think this profile says like I'm looking to get married tomorrow.
Right.
But I also don't think it says like let's fuck in 20 minutes.
Yeah. Describe what type of man you're looking for.
I feel like this would be easier if I just showed you photos of everyone I've ever slept with because they all look kind of the same. Nice. And they all look like a little like Seth Rogen. Like it's not that far of a cry.
Really?
Okay, so like I have this problem where until very recently, like until this like guy that I've most recently been seeing, like everyone I'd ever like hooked up with was like a little like just like these like kind of like schlubby dudes.
Do you have any like specific turn-ons or turn-offs that you haven't already stated?
I really like it when a guy does something outside of work for fun. It can be anything. It can be like any kind of hobby, like because I also have hobbies and I think it's like important to cultivate oneself outside of work.
Right.
I don't know if that counts as a turn on necessarily. And just from like chatting, like if someone has like a funny profile, like I'm much more likely to swipe right, even if he's not like as cute.
Yeah.
And then turn-offs are if people are like, I know this is very generic, but if people are dickish in their profile. So like I saw a guy who like I would have otherwise swiped right on the other day, and it was like this, that, and the other thing, no makeup, I prefer natural beauty. And I was like, fuck that shit. Like, who the fuck are you? It's 2016. Like, I will put whatever on my face I want to put on my face.
Yeah.
Like, I get really pissed off about that stuff. Oh, yeah, and if guys are like, if guys are just like, especially because I feel like different dating apps serve different purposes. So if guys are like too overtly like, yo, want to come over in 20 minutes, like on Bumble, I'm like, fuck you, Unmatch. I'm like, so, like, fucking sue me for trying to date you on a fucking dating app that's not Tinder.
I think I just fell in love with you a little bit. Approximately how many messages do you get a week?
Probably an embarrassing well, the thing is, I message everyone that I match with.
You do?
Yeah, and I just don't get a lot of messages back.
Really?
Yeah.
When you message them, do you have I mean, I guess I can get there, but like, do you individualize it?
Depending on my mood, it's a lot of copy pasting.
Okay.
Which I'm sure they see right through.
Right.
Like, I'm sure I'm not fooling anyone. Even though one time this guy was like, oh yeah, I loved your opening line. I was like, oh, the one that I copy pasted to you and 30 other people. Like, he was so cute, but he was so dumb.
So, anyways, back to the message.
Sorry. Right, how many? I would say, I think I have like about a 40% success rate. So like if I match with 20 guys and I message all 20, like 8 of them get back to me, I really talk to 2 of them, and I meet 1 of them.
Okay. Do you have a personal preference about who to send a message?
You know, I used to,
Yeah.
And then I decided, like, why the fuck am I on a dating app if I don't have the balls to send someone a message?
Yeah.
Like, the stakes are so... I mean, granted, I think the stakes are slightly higher for women than for men.
Yeah.
The stakes are so low.
Yeah.
Like, if I never hear back from you, like, boo-hoo, I'm gonna cry myself to sleep, like,
Yeah.
I'm sending you a message.
Yeah. When you get a message from a man, what warrants a response?
This is a huge pet peeve of mine when men will only respond to questions and not ask anything in return, because the definition of a conversation is I ask you a question, you respond with an anecdote that I can somehow respond to,
Right.
and then we take turns doing that.
Yeah.
Like, I hate when I'm like, hey there, how's it going? Because that's my opening line. I'm sure you're going to ask me that too. And then when people are like, NM, just chilling, and I'm like, okay, cool, thanks for typing me real words. Like, when people are only responding and not engaging, I will stop talking to them.
Does it turn you off if someone responds too soon or too often?
It is a turn off to me if someone sends like many, like, I kind of prefer to message in a way that's not like huge blocks of text. Like, I would rather it be like a little shorter and snappier. So like that quantity doesn't matter to me as much. But one time I did have to unmatch with this guy because he had sent me like, I just sent him the hey, like, how's it going? And he had responded and then been like, I'm doing great. How are things with you this fine day? Oh, also, like, I like this picture. Also, like, this thing in your profile is really cute. And then I didn't respond and he sent me like question marks. And then I was like, yeah, whatever. And then he sent me like a little like hand wave emoji and I was like, unmatched. Like, you're a crazy person. Like, we're not gonna get married. Like, calm down.
Find yourself not reaching out to a man after a great date because you can go to your phone and there's like 50 million other men that could be smarter, sexier, better good looking, make more money?
No, I describe my dating app experience as scraping the bottom of the internet barrel, like, on the reg. So, no, I don't feel that way. I mean, not that I don't think the men of Bumble are fantastic. But, you know, I never think the grass is greener on the apps.
Okay. What don't you like about it?
I mean, they can be really, like, for lack of a better term, they can be really soul-sucking. Like, sometimes can be really shitty to think about how other people are looking at you objectively and making a choice based on 6 photos and 4 lines of text, whether or not they might want to date you. Then also, like, I'll sometimes get frustrated if I feel like I'm not getting enough matches. I'd be like, I am so cute and I'm swiping right on, like, very average dudes. Like, why is no one throwing me a bone?
What's your favorite dating app?
Bumble.
Why?
I like that there's no... Even though I have no problem with messaging people first, I do think that some people think it's being too forward. So I like that Bumble, like, forces me to do it.
Yeah.
I also think the quality of guys is better on Bumble. Like, I don't like how Hinge and Coffee Meets Bagel limit how many people you can look at. I've used other dating apps, but they just weren't popular enough to have a lot of options. And then Tinder is just... Like, I had to stop. It was really bad. Like, it's just become a minefield of people who are like, you up? And I'm like, no, thank you. Like, I'm very asleep right now.
What is something that you wish you would have known about online dating prior to, like, getting into it?
It would have probably been helpful for me early on, knowing that, like, just the volume of people is so great. And, like, for instance, like, I mentioned in my questionnaire that, like, I've been on, I think, like, exactly 12 dates in the past calendar year. And, like, from all 12 of those dates, I've been on multiple dates with, like, 3 people. And I'm, like, dating one of those people, but, like, it's not a real anything. Like, I still think he's just okay. Like, it's just that, like, the volume does not equate to happiness. You'll be like, oh, there are so many people out there. I can find someone. I'm like, it still sucks. Like, it's still hard.